Okay. من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Um, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, you are welcome to commerce class. And today, inshallah, I'll be taking us through an important topic that we all need for those that are preparing for their examination, and likewise for those that are in SS2 also can also benefit from it. So, which is Introduction to Business Management. And to tell you the fact that this particular topic, you really need it because it is a very wild topic in commerce. But we will just look for a way of breaking it down to the minimum requirement that you are going to need for you to prepare for your examination. And at the end of the class, what we'll be looking at is we'll be looking at the meaning of business, the objective of business, the meaning of business resources, classification of business resources, meaning of management and business management, functions of management and its importance to business, and the principle of management. So those are the seven learning objective that will be taking us through during this class, inshallah. And I want us to look for a jotter or a note, jotting note for us to jot down one or two things that you will be learning in this class. And at the end of the class, I will be giving us just little assignment that it is coming up that we can also look for a way of getting more insights on the topic. And to start with is the meaning of business. So we can say business can be defined as any occupation or activities in which profit making is the major aim and in which there is risk or loss. Now you can see that I use a red color to paint some of the keywords that are very important in some definition. And to start with is to recap is that there is no acceptable definition for business as it is. So just for level of secondary school per se, so as we're using that as our own scope so that we can easily comprehend it. So business, like I said, is any occupation. So any occupation that you are into or any activity that you are into which the end result of that activity or that occupation is for you to make profit is known as a business. And to also tell you that there is no business that you won't have any risks, as you know that when they are talking of the factors of production, entrepreneurship, the result or the reward for entrepreneurship is risks, because you will surely face some risks or some losses. So no matter the type, whether private or public owned, they are meant to make profit or loss. So there are some public companies, there are some public organizations that their main aim are to make public. So we know before that public organizations are just to protect the welfare or to provide welfare activities for the citizen. But there are some uh, particular organizations that are public, and their main aim are to make profit. Let's take for instance LASTMA and the likes. Those ones are their main aim is to make profits at the end of the year. But if you look at their source is a what is a public oriented. So and there are different definition, like I said earlier, which based on the perspective we look at it. But for the benefit of study and examination, we should adopt the definition above. So for us to move very fast is that we have objective of the business, um, And the objective of business is divided into two, which is the primary or the main objective and the secondary objectives. So in that instance, so the main objective of a business is to maximize profit. Yeah. So that is the main objective. That is the primary objective. You don't go into a business without you having a sole aim. And what is that sole aim? Your aim is to make a profit. Yeah, some will say that it is not compulsory for you to make profit at the long run or at the short run. But my brother and my sister, the main aim for everyone that are going to business is to what? Is to make profit. Even as a result, you make loss, you are still, your main aim is to make profit, because you can't just go into a business, you can't venture into a business without you having a main aim for you, a main purpose for you starting that business. And to be candid with you, the purpose many of us used to start a business is for us to see our returns. So the secondary objective, I just limit it to 5 that I give us, at least maximum they ask us of 5 objectives. So if you are asked of objective of business in your examination and you are not asked to categorize them based on primary or secondary, you can give them all this. It is not compulsory to start telling them that we have the primary objective and secondary objectives, and it's not compulsory to bother yourself, to bore yourself and start memorizing many. At least they will ask you to mention 5, 7 as the case may be, and in that instance, you just think around on what are the so the number one that I have there is to provide quality and cheap goods and services for their customer. There's no how, if you are going to a business, you want to look for how to venture on cheap goods so that you can attract more customers, and you want to provide a quality goods so that your customer can have trust in you, that when we go to Mr. A is going to give us a good and a very quality goods, and also to provide job opportunities for the public or people. Some people actually go into business for them to provide a job for the public so that it can ease the unemployment rate, and it can also assist some people in order to achieve their career. So those are some of the objectives, and that one is to provide the need of their customers. So if you want to venture into a business, your aim is to look for a way that what are the needs of my customer. You can let's take for instance, you want to start a business in the north, and you know that in the north they have hot, high hot intensity. And let's take for instance the village that you're about to start the business, they don't have lights, they have issues of electricity. But you now thought of what's a kind of business that I can provide there. So in that instance, I can suggest that you start something like um an a cold room, or that maybe you'll be selling drink that are chill and things like that. That those that are there, they don't have choice than to say when they are already hot, they have hot what would I say, they are already hot, so they will look for a way of cooling their body by venturing or looking for a way of buying your goods. So those are, you are able to check their needs at that instance. But let's take for instance, you went to an estate, let's take Banana Island for instance, and you now say what I want to start selling is I want to start selling drink, and you can sell drink. Maybe you open your warehouse, you start selling them in bulk, but you say you want to start selling one, but you know that in many of those wealthy houses they will have a wine shop, they will have a wine shop, they will have a place that they have a shield drink and things like that. So it is all as if of of the customer. Let's take for instance the current pandemic that is happening in some area. We have issue of banks let's take for instance the area I'm giving this lecture from like about 30-minute journey. You're not going to see any bank. So for someone that want to start a business at that instance, it's gonna look for a way of, okay, let me start a paga business, or let me start something that people can easily come to me, not necessarily going to bank and queue for like 1 hour or 24 or 5 hours because they want to collect just 10,000 naira. Whereas they can pay me 500 naira or 200 naira for them to collect 10,000 naira. I think even if you tell them to pay 1,000 naira to collect 10,000 naira, men some will actually venture into it. So you must look running of a business. I want you to mark that word: effective and efficiency. Effectiveness and efficiency. So any inputs that you have put that is required for you to run a particular business concern in an effective and efficient manner is known as what? As business resources. These resources are organized by managers to achieve the set of objective of the business. These resources are human, financial, material, time, and opportunities. So there might be some instance that they ask you a question that what are the 4 M's of management. So I want us to check that on our Google. Let's Google that. Let's look for a way of searching that. What are the 4 M's of management? They are very simple questions that they might ask us in our examination. It might comes out in our objective questions or in our theory questions, just a bonus mark. So I won't be telling us that. So any input that is required for you to run a business is known as business. And I told us that the resources are the human resources, the financial resources, the material resources, time, and what and opportunities. So for us to move forward, like we said, that we have classified those business resources based on human resources. So the human resources could be skilled and unskilled labor, skilled and unskilled labor. Also, I want us to also look for a way of portraying more knowledge on that, that who are the skilled labor and who are the unskilled labor. There are it is a question that is somehow corny. So I won't tell us now. I want us to venture more. I want us to read more on them. Those are cheap questions they might ask us. So when we're talking about the human resources as one of the classification of business resources, so these human resources, they are very important in a business because they are the one that coordinates and they are the one that oversee other resources. Because without the human resources, we can't actually make use of other resources. So it is said that these are resources that plans, controls, organize, and coordinate all other resources in order to achieve maximum efficiency. So any personnel required to run the business to achieve the organizational objective and goals, they are what? They are the human resource. Like I said earlier on, it could be a skilled or an unskilled labor. In some instances, some would say semi-skilled labor. So the second one is the financial resources, or some could call it money. So these resources is very, very important because it is the money that is used in the business to purchase other resources. Yeah, because money capital is the key. If you want to venture into a business, you must have capital. So because it is the one that you use to run the organization. So this money that we are talking about is very crucial in starting a business, or is very crucial under business resources, because you use it to finance all other resources. Let's take for instance those human resources that are required for your business. You are going to look for a way of giving them, we are going to look for a way of paying them their salary. So you see that money actually takes place there. Let's say for instance the machine and materials that you are going to use, they are those things that you are actually going to use money or finance, you are actually going to use finance for. Taking for instance, we have borrowings. Yeah, you can go to bank to borrow some money for you to start a business, to lend. So if you are able to read your sole proprietorship when they're asking us on how to the source of income for a sole proprietor, you should know that one of it is lending from family, lending from government and public and things like that. Also, selling of shares for some business owner, theirs is to sell shares to people, for people to buy their shares, and they use the shares to run the business, and at the end of the business, they pay the shareholder a dividend for them venturing into their what into their business, because the person that is about to buy the share also share the orientation that the business owner is also what is also having, and he is looking for a way of he is looking for a way of gaining one or two things from the business. Also, we also have a retained profit. The retained profit, if you go to accounting field, retained profit is just your profit and loss, that's your net profit that you have, your profit after tax that you have is known as what? As a retained profit. You know, when you have a profit as at the end of the business, you look for a way of venturing it more to other things in order for you to gain another what? Another profit. So the third one is the material resources, and these are also, all these resources are actually important. They are very, very important because you're talking of material resources. You know, if you employ a skilled labor, and you have a finance of purchasing the machine to use to start the business, maybe you want to produce something, you surely need materials for you to what to for what you want to produce. Those are raw materials. Maybe you want to go into oil and gas. You know, you will surely be needing something like what's it called? You surely be needing crude oil. Or let's take for instance tools and machine and other equipment. So those are uh, the materials needed for the running of the business, for a business to operate efficiently. And the quality of the material resources must take into consideration, because we said one of the objectives of the business is to provide quality and cheap goods. So if you want to provide quality goods and services for uh, your customer, you must actually provide a good materials that material resources that are what that are quality and can provide you an effective and efficient result. And to also recap is that business is not only goods, you selling goods. Business also can also venture into service. Let's say for instance, I have a business, and my business is to write a project for someone, for those that are in final year in their school. Actually, that's not a good for people to eat or for people to wear. So those are services. You come to me, you tell me that I want to write my project. Okay, what's your topic? I provide the service for you. Or maybe I want to collect money from you want to collect money from me through Paga or something like that. Those are what are services that you can go into. So also to also continue is the opportunity or goodwill. So these include the facility within the environment you are about to start that business. So they include water, tools, machine, water, roads, electricity rather. So those are things that they are within the environment that you are starting the business. So those are actually those things that are very important for you. They are also important because you want to start bread and you surely need water, yeah, because water is in the environment. You surely need electricity. You also want to be delivering goods to someone. You must also note and the availability of the road that you are what that you suit your business. That's localization of industry, so location of industry as the case may be. That's another topic on its own. So, and we're talking of that goodwill is that the name or reputation of a business can also is also good for a business operation. Let's take for instance, every one of us today, if you hear ShopRite, we will all be eager to say, let me go to ShopRite. It doesn't mean that ShopRite goods is actually cheaper or is actually, to even tell you the fact, there are many other cheaper supermarket that you can venture in apart from ShopRite. But because you had that name ShopRite, you were like, ah, wow, that is a what? That is a reputation, a good name for that what? For that company, for them to become a good thing for many customers to say, let me go into them. Likewise, today we have Mr. Biggs. It's not only one person that has Mr. Big. There are a lot of people that have Mr. Big, but because that name, when people hear the name, they're like, ah, I must go into Mr. Biggs to buy something. So people run to it. People look for a way of naming their own supermarket to Mr. Big so that people they can also get what they could also get customer. So to move on is now that we have talked about the business side, so we'll now be going into the meaning of management and the business management. So management is a wider scope on its own. It refers to the ability to manage we are talking about because management is a wider scope on its own. It refers to the ability to so there are many school of thought that have brought many definition of management because they actually make some influence in management and they brought a definition of management. But the one that I want us to actually learn, we can go and make research on many of it. So management can be defined as the act of making prudent use of organizational resources towards the attainment, sorry, I forgot to put that, towards the attainment of organizational goals and objectives. So I should come again, they can be defined as the act of making prudent use of organizational resources towards the attainment of organizational goals and objectives. So according to Mary Parker Follett, this is one of the theory of management. He also said management is the art of working with and through others. So that's a very simple definition I can give the examiner while writing your exam when he asks you what is management. Act of working with and through others. So we are talking of business management. So business management can therefore be said as the ability to manage and utilize all business resources. We have talked about all those business resources, the human resources, financial resources, material resources, and opportunities. So these are the way that we manage and utilize all those resources in an effective and efficient manner in order to achieve our business goal, rather our business goal. So let's remove just resources in order to achieve the business objectives and business goals. So how do you manage those resources that we talked about, and how do you utilize those resources? That is where what business management comes in. So if you're talking about effectiveness and efficiency, it's also a thing that we should also clarify there. When we're talking about effectiveness, is all those resources, how do we use them? How do we use them? Using it for what we actually want. What efficiency is actually telling us that how do we get results from a lower cost in order for us to achieve a higher result. So that's on that. So functions and importance of management. So we have the planning, organization, staffing, coordinating, and controlling and budgeting. So we can say post-corp. So when we're talking about the planning, so planning can be defined as the act of deciding in advance what to do, how to do, and for whom to do it for. So if you want to go into a business and you want to manage your business, the first thing that you must actually note is you must actually plan. What are those things I want to do? How will I get my resources? How will I get my materials? You actually plan. Planning also takes a lot of days, a lot of a lot of period to also achieve it. We have the minimum plan, the medium plan, the large plan, so which actually continues as the business also continues. So one of the benefits of us planning is that you'll be able to accomplish your set of goals, because if you are planning, you'll have actually set your goals and objectives. So you'll be able to also accomplish them. Another one is going to lead you to what acceptable decision. If you don't plan, you cannot have a decision to make. But if you plan, you will be able to what have some decisions to make. You have acceptable decision to make, and there are a lot of. You can also forecast the activity of the organization. Okay, uh, through with the plan that I've made for this business, I can forecast that in the next two or in the next or the result I'll be having in the next 2 years, I'll be having a profit, or I'll be breaking even. I will neither have profit and have loss, and many other benefits that planning has also given us. Another one is controlling. Organizing. Let's move to organizing based on the what I've highlighted there. So organizing is concerned with bringing together the people, the human resources, and the materials required for us to achieve the goal. How do you organize them out of the planning stage? You have planned for it, is now left for you to now what organize the people and the materials that you want to use. So these activities suitable for the procedure and method of attaining the goals and objective are determined at the organizational stage. So the activity suitable for the procedure and method of attaining. So if you want to attain the goals and objectives, the goal and objective of that business, how do you organize your people? How do you uh how do you organize your people, and how did you organize your material required also? Are they in the right place, and are they giving you the right results? So if you're talking about the staffing also, so this is the process of organizing the human resources. In this instance, we're talking about the human resources in such a way that the organization has taken the right people in the right place or position and at the right time to achieve their objectives. So if you want to have a good business, you want to go into you must have the right resources, have the right human resources, people that can give you results. Even if you are not there, they can actually give you results. So that is for the staffing stage. You organize them in such a way that they are the right people in the right place or position and at the right time in order for them to achieve your business objectives. So we are talking about the directing. This will now involve how you are getting those people that you have organized, that you have staffed, how you are getting those people to carry out the decision quickly and efficiently with the minimum what with the minimum things that entails using leadership or skills and other skills. So it's telling us that how have you get those people to carry out those decisions, those plans that you have set for yourself for the business. So in this instance, you must have a leadership skills. The leadership skills will make you understand these are people that are going to be in this place. So to ensure that people in the organization know their work and know what their work is and have it, so you direct them to the right place. Another one is the coordinating aspect. The coordinating is how do you coordinate all the resources together. You know as at when you need human resources, you know as at when to spend, you know as at when to use a material, and you know as at when to use those opportunities you have in your environment. So those are the circle of coordination. And how do you coordinate them? So it now takes us to the controlling aspect. So we can say controlling is the act of measuring the performance standard with the actual performance in order to detect if there is any deviation between those standards, which means it's the act of setting a standard. When you set a standard for the organization to carry out its organizational plan, when you have planned, you now set a standard that okay, these are what and what I must achieve at the end of this business. So you now measure it. What is the progress of that standard? So it takes us to the element of controlling. So controlling also is also a great topic. All these seven particular functions of management, all these particular functions of management, they are actually topic on their own that if you discuss them, you can also understand more on how to manage your business. But because we are just telling us the introduction to business at our stage, that is why we are not beyond that. So you set your standard, measure the progress of standard, you interpret the results. When you have measured it, you interpret your results and what you take corrective action. And the last one is budgeting. Yeah, budget is actually a key thing if you want to start a business. You budget. It's just like it's just like it's just like something that you have just prepared, that for you to have a plan on what to do and how to do it. Because if you don't have a budget, you just spend anyhow. The money resources, the financial resources will not be efficient and will not be effective. You just spend anyhow the way you like. So from there, we move to the last objectives that we have, which is the principles of management. So if we are able to adapt these principles, you'll be able to what to manage your business effectively and efficiently. And the number one of it is the clarity of objective. So the clarity of the objective is the aim and objective of the organization means achieving them and must be clearly stated. It means that what you must clearly state your objective. You must clearly state what you want to achieve, what exactly you want to achieve at the head of this business. So that is number one. If you want to manage your business where you want to have a business management, number one is you must have a clarity of what of objective. Am I going there to provide welfare for my members? Am I going there to make profit and things like that? So number two is unity of command. So this principle is actually telling us that the subordinates how are they receiving instruction from their boss at what at as at when due in an effective and in an effective manner. That unity of command is how are your subordinates, those that are under you, how are they getting the 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 command from you as the boss in order for them to what to actualize the goals and what an objective. So if you want to manage your business, you must have a unity of command. There must not be so many people commanding the organization. That is why we have manager. He goes straight to give the order, and the subordinate carries out the order. The second one is the span of control. So this span of control also work with the unity of command. So which means that there are a number of subordinates under the supervision of the manager. So
We can't hear you again.
To ensure effective and efficient, efficient and effectiveness of the work of the business. Also, to also move swiftly is division of labor. The ensure we achieve efficiency to work in sizes, smaller multiple units and specialization increase productivity. So, as you know that specialization increase and product, if you specialize your business, it's not one person that is actually doing the nylon of the pure water, not one person that is taking the water into the nylon that is placing. No, the way they are going to have and higher, um, and higher one, and higher, and higher. And another one to very fast is I know that for every employer, here and satisfaction, both you yourself and the employee. You must, as one of that's one of the principles of business management. If you want people to actually work for you in a very good manner, you must actually pay them well, and you must actually look for a way of motivate them. And that one is this discipline. In an organization, in discipline must not be what maintained. You get to the work at the right time, you do the right thing at the right time. And the last one, that because of time, the last one is the unity of direction. So people engage in the same line of activity and must have objective in a single what in a single plan. This means that the corporate interest must supersede individual interest. Yes, you want to you must make sure that the corporate interest supersede your own individual interest. So you work with a plan, you have unity of direction, you want to achieve this and everybody goes with it. So we are not going to bore the many things. It's just for us to have some tips of what business management is actually entail. So you can also Google and check the 15 principles of Henry Frayo to get more insights of the principles of management. So, brothers and sisters, we'll be ending here. Don't forget our assignment. First assignment is we should check what we mean by the 4 M's of management, and the second one is to actually also check the meaning of skilled and unskilled labor. So, till we meet again, we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.